Hi, everybody. John Henderson Pierre back. Another beer ramble looking at Rockdale Light. Rockdale. If you had a busy day, you want to relax, how about Rockdale Light? What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Think that's a good jingle for this beer? I don't know. Hasn't been scored yet by Beer Advocate or the Alston Brothers or the Bros. 3.5% alcohol by volume. It's not listed in the can, but I did some research and somehow looked through it. This beer is a mystery, but and it is clocked at 3.5. This is Rockdale Brewing Company, Lacrosse, Wisconsin. That's not. It's a dummy name. It doesn't exist. It is actually City Brewery in Lacrosse, Wisconsin. There have been a couple of videos of this on YouTube, and of course, my good friend Mr. Terrio did one, so I decided to go ahead and give this thing a try. I saw this, the style, I should say, it is a light lager style. So, chickens in the background, as you can hear. You look at the color here, standard, typical light lager, or it ain't a pilsner, but light lager. Very clear, yellowish. Looks like your Bush and your old Milwaukee's, or Milwaukee's Best, whatever. The scent. Has a little cooked vegetable scent to it. A little, not much. Some vegetables. You see some corn, but standard light lager scent. So, on to the taste. Pretty bland to me. That's just me. I just ate a while ago, so excuse me, I got some hiccups. Excuse me. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I'm saying I don't know how to say this. I mean, excuse me. One thing I was a little suspicious when I saw Lacrosse, Wisconsin. I mean, they've done Minhas Brewery. It's also in Lacrosse, Wisconsin. They're the ones that Costco contracted to do their beer, their Kirkland's Light lager, signature light, what is a light lager, light beer, whatever. Um, and that wasn't really. It's about the same how I'm looking at this beer right now. Um, it's Rockdale City Brewing, and the company is owned by the Winery Exchange, World Brews of the Wine Exchange, and they have contracts with a lot of stores. Um, whether it be places like um, like CVS, Rite Aid, and whatnot. So let's start with the history of some of these things. If we all know, growing up, even before I was born, a lot of these supermarkets and whatever, they would get in agreements with a certain food distributor company or whatever that is, and it would make these off-brand products that were just as identical or taste the same as the national brand. Only as you're not paying as much what the national brand offers. You're paying half the cost. So this is going on forever, whether it be dry goods, cereals, whatever, medicine, you know, whether it be, you know, anything you go shop at any store, supermarket, a discount store, whatever. So this has been going on. Names like Best Choice or America's Supermarket or you know, or Sam's Choice, whatever. Great Value, you know. Uh, those have been the names that you've seen. We can compare this and to versus this brand, this national brand. We could compare that to that national brand. It's just as good, just as better, or less the same. But guess what? You're not going to pay a lot of money for it. So that has been going on forever. So within the last 20 or 25 years, um, these same companies would have gotten contracts with gotten to these stores or companies have gotten into the alcohol business where they will sell, you know, um, whether it be uh, um, even with beverages. But I said within the last 20 25 years, they got into business and selling, spirits. Got in contact with some distillery or some vineyard or brewery to make these offhand, sort of odd names of some of these beers and say, hey, we have this style of beer here. We sold at this store. It's just as good as the national brand or these guys, or we can compare it to, the Bushes and the Millers, or we can compare this wine to the Ernest and Gallo or the Robert Mondavi, and we can compare this spirit to Smirnoff or Seagram's Seven, you know, whatever whatever it is, but you're not going to pay a lot of money. Some have come out pretty good. Some of the products they've made is like, okay, this is pretty decent style of wine. This is a decent style of you know you know the spirit, the vodka or the rum or whatever. It's okay. But there have been others that have been outright trash where you have a severe hangover or you're just throwing up whatever. It's just that this is poor quality. Why the hell did I buy that? I should have stuck to buying Bacardi or stuck to buying, Budweiser or stuck to buying, Ernest and Gallo, whatever it is. So names come to mind, of course, Trader Joe's, Charles Shaw, the Vineyards, they do the $2 chuck. Um, Walmart has gotten to agreement with a vineyard, and you'll see three brands of wines that they sell. You have the Oak Leaf brand, you got the Lucky Duck or Lucky Dog, whatever that is, and you got the Rex Golith or Golith. Forgive the pronunciation, but um, they've done those, and with other stores, CVS, for example, they have a wine called a brand wine. It's a inexpensive brand called Grape and Vine, or you'll see another brand called Oak Creek. Rite Aid has a brand of wine called Five Oaks that they sell, very discounted. Walgreens, um, David Stone or David Shore is their brand, and I got flies all over this damn place. That's their brand of wine. So Dollar General, yes, Dollar General when they got into started selling alcohol at their stores. I think what they started selling, I think 2010. Could be wrong, but I believe it was 2010 they began selling alcohol. But um, they started selling a brand called Spring Creek wines that they sell. But so on and so forth. Kirkland's, which is the brand that you see like in Costco. Costco, of course, a very big company. They got in contract with a vineyard, and you'll see when you go to that store, you see Kirkland such and such, Pinot Noir or Cabernet or whatever. And then, of course, like I mentioned with the brewer I mentioned earlier, the Kirkland Signature Light, and then they do an IPA, they do a pale lager. Um, I think they also do an amber ale, so they do quite a bit of stuff. But again, same theme. We're just as good. Our stuff is better, but you're not going to pay a lot of money versus the national brand. So, um, and then some of these companies have their own stuff they make for themselves and they sell at some of these stores, and most of it is pretty much at times is you know you know where's the sink? Turn on the water, down the drain it goes. So, um, and another one that's kind of worse right now is probably one of the worst ones I've had, and I'm sure you've had it. And if you saw my review of this beer, you would understand why. Big Flats, 1901, which is came out in 2011, and that was sold exclusively at Walgreens, and that was probably one of the worst beers I've ever had. And I just like, mm-mm, no, I can't do this, and and disappeared in the out of the market. But that beer sort of came back early or sometime earlier middle of this year, and I was kind of surprised that it was. I know I said, what the hell is this doing back here? I mean, it didn't sell, didn't do anything. I think those who like beer, and those beer drinkers or wine drinkers or spirit drinkers can tell, when something is crappy, they'll tell you, this ain't good shit. Period. So this brand, which I saw, there was a couple of pictures I saw on my, I'm on a beer group on Facebook, and someone had took a picture of this beer, Rockdale. I said, I said, what the hell is this? And it said Walmart. Huh? What's going on? So that one and another company, which is all part of the same company. This one here, the Winery Exchange, or World Brews, they like to call it, um, which owns the company, but they don't brew it. But but uh, they also have another brand that's exclusively sold at Walmart called, the name of it comes Trouble Brewing, and they have a Cat's Away IPA, they have a pale ale, and they even do a sort of a variety pack, a 12-pack variety pack, and of three of their, I think it's like three of their beers that they have that I've seen, and I've seen their beers at Walmart as well. So, but anyway, find folks say, hey, you want to try craft beer? We'll make craft beer, but you won't pay a lot. But the brewery where it's from is like, I don't know. I don't know if this is really good stuff, for me to sample or try out. But anyway, this and that other beer, Trouble Brewing, all of them are all those beers are made by City Brewery in Lacrosse, Wisconsin. So they've gotten a contract where they're only going to be sold at Walmart. And when I saw this was middle of about September of last year, and it was only in a couple of markets, cities, you know, supermarket, the Walmart supercenters or the neighborhood markets. Now I know in New Jersey their Walmarts or none of their stores or even the Sam's Club. I think I could be wrong, but no, Sam's Club, I take that out of the question. Sam's Club, they do sell wine, and I don't know I think they do sell beer, some of their facilities, but I know that other grocery stores, you're inside the grocery like we do here in the South and maybe parts of the Midwest. You can walk into, a Walmart or whatever, or Kroger's or whatever it is, and you can buy beer or convenience store. So, and I know in my home state of New Jersey, most Walmarts there, super centers, they don't sell alcohol at all. So you have to go to the liquor store. So anyway, and get it. But so this was I saw it around 2015. I guess that's when it made its debut and we started getting it about early February of this year in our area, and I think pretty much most of the country now. But this is not something it's okay, folks. It's not bad, but it's not good either. So um, it is what it is. It's one of these beers that it's very inexpensive. It's cheap. If you're more so for college kids, if you got gonna hang out, going to do a bonfire, or you're gonna you know you want to get ripped on a Friday night, you have nothing to do, just hang out with friends and talk, and you're tight on money. This is the beer to get. But for the price, and I know it's $1 less from the price I bought this, bought the 24 pack, and that's all I've seen in our area is only in 24 packs. But I think Milwaukee's Best Light, High Life Light, um, I would say are a lot better in terms of a light beer, and very inexpensive too compared to the big boy brands like Bud Light and Miller Light. So, um, like I said, I'm gonna give this. It's not awful, but it's not great. So I'm gonna say 6.5 for me, which is I think is a C minus. And 3.5%. And but I know there are other beers within that range that I think are taste a lot better than this. So, like I said, this is pretty bland to me, but again, the purpose of the beer, if you're tight on money, this is what it is. And if you want to play beer pong, you buy a 24 pack of this, and then you're set for the night. So I've gone on a little longer with this video here. So that's my score. If 6.5, if you've had Rockdale Light and you think it is the best thing in the world, or agree with my view on this, leave your statements and comments on the bottom, and subscribe to my channel. Join us in Pierre the Beer Rambleton. Keep on watching, and as always, cheers.